Hey there, my Darkside crew. Welcome back. It's Freya here. And I'm bringing you something a little bit different tonight. This one's going to be a little brief today, as I just wanted to share an insight with you regarding love and how sometimes it eludes us with a quiet whisper. Today's going to be a tough one to get through, as it's really personal and, yes, painful moment for your divine feminine here, as my heart is breaking today for no other reason than I allowed myself a brief moment to delve into what I thought was an all too brief, rare, and beautiful love of a lifetime. Turns out that it was too good to be true, as they say. So I thought I'd bring a discretionary vision to you today as sort of a cathartic cleansing, if you will. I know many of my listeners can relate to this topic. So many, maybe by sharing this very personal experience with you today, you can find some healing in your own life if today's episode resonates with your own story. So you met an amazing person. You wanted to give them your all. And you thought there was no other one like them throughout your entire life. How could this be? This is unlike anything you've ever experienced, right? So it must be heaven sent. Even the way it began was so unconventional that you'd never heard of it happening like this before. You knew from day one that there was something so incredibly special about them. It may have come out of nowhere too, when you weren't even looking for love. You may have been burned so many times that you had no intentions of ever embarking down that lonely, twisted road ever again. And although it may have happened in the most unusual way, you knew on a soul level that this would be someone you could never forget them and all of the special moments you had shared. It may be that after a long time out of the usual domestic relationships and that feeling like you should just accept that this is the way it will always be for you, this new person gently opened your heart and you found you were ready to take a leap of faith, to take that ultimate risk, to trust your feelings, to throw caution to the wind, to put your heart and soul into the hands of another and trust that they will cherish it, to love unconditionally one more time. Then, as quick as it began, it ended. But you kind of knew that would happen anyway, right? Why did it end? What happened? And how could the gods be so cruel? How do we survive this crash landing? How do we process it when we're not even sure what it was all about anyway? So now what? What's next? You're left feeling so numb that you have to remind yourself to breathe. The world you once saw in brilliant colors now has turned gray and cold. Today we'll take a look at these questions and so much more, as well as we move past this finite moment in time and find our peace again. How we may grow and learn from this experience in a healthy way. How we stand our ground, and at the same time, take a moment to recognize both sides of the story, yours and theirs. Today I'm going to skip the intro I usually do, as I just want to get right into it with you. You know how to reach the show through our website if you're so inclined. And with that said, let's dive in. So sometimes we meet that someone that comes in like a hurricane, turns your head and heart upside down, and it happens so fast that your head says, slow down, take a breath. You know how these things have a tendency to burn out just as quick, right? But from your view, the moments are so magical, so intense, so full of what-if fantasies. Those late night conversations that filled you with so much energy and laughter that you can't believe that hours have passed and it felt like only minutes had gone by. We tend to ignore our rational mind and fall completely head over heels in love with this person. That kind of love that, if we are lucky enough to find it even once in our lives, we should hold on to it like nothing else matters. Because in my opinion, nothing else compares to it. Like it was destined to be. On a much higher level than we could ever comprehend. So they led you to believe they felt the same way. But did they really? Did we in fact want this to be the real thing so much that we were ready and willing to believe all of those sweet proclamations of love? The plans for the future that we now know will never be our reality? That we forgot that sometimes we have been down this road a time or two. And love was not to be realized in the 3D world after all. But this time, we were so sure it was different. It was finally our turn. Sometimes we meet people on our journey through this life that we know deep in our heart that we have an immediate spiritual connection, an intense passion for, a twin flame, if you will. It may be that you and your love interest have many extraordinary synchronistic connections. You know, those shared interests and thought process that are identical, and it's almost impossible to have so many. But there you are. If you are one who believes in past life soul connections, maybe you have loved them for many lifetimes. Maybe there was a lesson, to learn with them in this lifetime. And just maybe they were only meant to be with you for a brief time here on this earthly plane, in this current lifetime, to bring you a lesson of some kind that you won't understand until, years later, if ever. And then the ending that comes all too soon. Maybe one or both of you have a fear of intimacy and getting too close and being able to just let go and live in the moment. It may be that you were involved with someone who is addicted to, the new beginnings. And when it came to getting real with the next level, they may not have had the interest in it. They begin to back off, withdraw. It may be that they let the world and all the issues of today distract them to a point where they became consumed by the noise and forgot what was most important was already in their possession. It is possible that you never really knew this person at all. Maybe it was all a big facade. Maybe they were afraid of change, or just didn't have what it takes to fulfill their desires at this time, and yours as well. Maybe they just got stuck for a multitude of reasons. Maybe the timing was not what they had hoped it would be. Maybe you never knew that you weren't the only one in their lives, but you came along and they just couldn't tell you. And when things needed to progress, that's when they needed to get out. Or maybe somehow you hurt them or let them down and they just have no words to express this to you. Maybe you told friends and family about this amazing person way too soon and now you feel foolish, as you should have waited a little longer. Maybe they didn't know how to elaborate that their feelings had changed. They just didn't know how to tell you, so they withdrew. And maybe they needed you to be the bad guy and do the dirty work of letting them go. It is a real thing, you know. The research has shown that it's usually something that men do more so than women, as to not add more pain and confrontation to an already defunct relationship. And so we do that to save face, to try and protect what is left of our shredded heart. As we cannot have such an intense connection with someone and not know when things have changed. Even if we try to hide it from ourselves, our soul knows. Even if they cannot bring themselves to tell you, their behavior abruptly changes. Their inactions speak volumes. As we all know, most communication is nonverbal anyway. You do ultimately know what time it is. And to stay longer would in fact be an humiliating and moot point. So you find your dignity and some courage, and you do what needs to be done. If they are okay with your departure, then you know it's for the best. You do not dwell on what might have been. But on the other hand, if it was just a miscommunication, as that can happen in human relations, if there was a misunderstanding, and they truly do love you, they won't let you just leave their life. So either way, you'll know where you stand, right? Maybe this experience has triggered some abandonment issues for you. And it may be that your heart is enraged and you feel betrayed. Maybe even angry at them and even yourself for allowing your most vulnerable self to be so exposed and then discarded it as if you had no real value. Just so many maybes that we may never know the answers to. I would like to ask, does it really matter at this point what the answers are? Maybe. But the fact that it has ended is all you can see, and any answer you may find still would not lessen your pain, your emptiness, and your disenfranchised view of love. I'm here to acknowledge that, hard as it may be in the moment, a clearing of that energy must take place in order to move forward with our lives. Again, as hard as that may be, when you're in the middle of the emotional storm, it must be done. Understand that they not only denied you the experience of the soul contract, but they also denied themselves the experience as well, for whatever the reasons are. So what are we to do at this point? Do we wait by the phone for the call that may never come? No. Do we run out and try to replace them with somebody new, just to avoid the feeling of the pain that we know we need to walk through and give it a proper burial, as that behavior would most certainly risk involving someone else to the heartbreak we would surely bring them if we are not fully healed? So no. Do we resort to that place of loveless solitude and refuse to see it for what it was? A life lesson? No. So, now that we've broken it down, how do you move on after a heartbreak? Do you face each new day knowing part of your heart and soul is gone and most likely never to return? Where do you begin? I have a few suggestions for you. And of course, it's always up to you as to your course of action. But these are a few things that I resonate with. 1. Make a gratitude list. Be it brief. Be grateful for the moments they were in your life, as long as it was a non-abusive relation, of course. The lessons that were meant for you, that only they could bring you. Break free from negative attachments and any need to control outcomes. Break free from fear of loss and come to the realization that life is full of ups and downs and yet full of unexpected hidden beauty. Not everything is going to go the way we wanted it to, of course. So let it be, as the song says, right? Don't labor in the victim role, as it does nothing but waste your precious energy and time. And number 2, rediscover who you are. Let go of your ego at this moment. Be strong in your convictions that you are a beautiful spirit and deserve to be with someone who gets you and accepts you unconditionally and is willing to stand in the flames with you no matter the cost. Someone who will slay the dragons to be with you. Continue to live your life with joy and peace, as it's really the only way that we can stay grounded and focused to move forward as the beautiful soul that you are. Number 3, don't stop living your life. You were a whole person with dreams and aspirations before your person came along, and you can and should continue to focus on your needs, your desires, and of course, your growth. Even now that they are not in your life at this moment in time, your life will go on. And how that will play out is totally in your control. So get up and show up for yourself and those in your tribe. Number 4, take good care of yourself. Retreat briefly if you must into your solitude, but try not to stay there too long. Life is getting shorter by the day. Get your sleep, eat healthy, continue to work out, take up a new hobby, spend time with family and friends. Maybe try something new that you have always wanted to try. Concentrate on your own healing at this time. Maybe try some visualization and meditation as to how you want to see your future. And no, I'm not talking about, spend your energy on visualizing them and your future per se, but a future where you are the conqueror of your personal dreams. You have been through the storm, and you will come out on the other side, and yes, it could be for the better if you want it. Number 5, don't be afraid to let go. But let go with grace, always. Can we all agree that this life is way too short to sweat the small stuff? And for a majority of it, it is all small stuff. There comes a time that we begin to take inventory of our lives. We understand that things and people come and they go, and there's very little we can do about it. The things that are out of our control. So appreciate the transformation you're embarking on at this time. Be calm and anchor your energy. Don't keep yourself locked in the mental prison of the memories, the what-ifs, the frequencies of low vibrations. I've always believed that when someone really wants to be in our lives, they would go to the ends of the earth to be with you. They will do what's necessary to show up for you and themselves. They will never hesitate to return the love to you that you have bestowed upon them. They will always find a way to bring you home. And number 6, choose love. Always be free to live and to love, as you are so worth it. Raise those vibrations. Radiate in your divine masculine and divine feminine energies. Let things flow no matter which direction it goes. As we really have little to no control over most circumstances in the end anyway. Be kind and gentle with yourself first and foremost. When we feel whole and show ourselves the love we deserve, the affection we've given to others through a genuine heart, we can move forward knowing that we have done all we could. Then maybe, just maybe, you still have time for your true love to appear. Some might say, just in time. You know something? It has occurred to me that it matters not whether the love you shared was real on their part or not, because the love you gave was real. And no one can ever take that away from you. Because after all, you have walked away with an even bigger heart than before. And maybe they came along to open your frozen heart so that you could feel alive again. And free your heart from the bondage that you have been holding yourself in for far too long. Maybe you were in their life for a brief moment to show them what true compassion is all about. Maybe they will carry that with them through their life and share that with whoever comes next. So family, it has been a journey today on the dark side of the human love connection, and I hope you find a way to see it through to the other side. I hope as always that I have given you some food for thought and some inspiration to hold your head up. Look to the sky. Let the sun shine down upon you and fill your heart and soul with the love of you. Be your own advocate, always. Don't let this heartbreak break you. We are all here to learn and to teach each other that at the end of the day, all we really have is love, and it should be shared universally throughout our lives. And remember, it's not worth staying with anyone who's not madly in love with you and is willing to show you that consistently on a daily basis. You will in fact get through this, and who knows, maybe, just maybe, the next person could be the one who's been waiting for you all your life. So that's all I have for today, family. I look forward to seeing you down the road, but first I cannot leave you without the quote of the day. And I actually have 2 to share with you today. I just felt I needed them both. I miss that feeling of connection, knowing he was out there thinking about me at the same time I was thinking about him. And he was both everything I could ever want and nothing I could ever have. By Renata Suzuki. The music today is called Beauty in the Rain by an amazing composer, Daryl John Kennedy. Thank you for all the music, my friend.